Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Town of Grand Rapids Board meets on Tuesday, August 18th, 6 p.m. at the Town of Grand Rapids Fire Station, 2410 48th Street South. First item on the agenda will be the Pledge of Allegiance. If you care to join me, William, would you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we get into the meeting, I've asked our attorney, Nick Flanagan, to just to give us overviews on 6 and 7, just to make sure everybody is comfortable with what's there. So the item 2 is approve the agenda for the meeting. Any concerns? Hearing none. Item 3, approve the minutes of the town board meeting for July 14th, 2020.
I'll make a motion to approve the July 14, 2020 minutes.
Motion by Dan, second by Patty. Any discussion?
Yes, I have discussion on a few items. Under number 4, it said resident John Miller asked if there was anything the town can do about the city of Wisconsin Rapids wanting to park 100 railroad cars filled with chemicals on the East Commerce near his neighborhood on 42nd Street. Because it was in public comment, I wonder, was there anything done?
I didn't have any meeting notice that there was any meetings.
There was 2 meetings, and there is one tonight to either approve or disapprove of it. They had a committee meeting, to let you know, and they had a committee meeting on it, and it was a motion by one of the 3 people on the committee. One person made a motion, another one seconded it, and when they went to take the vote, out of the 3 people, 1 voted yes and 2 voted no. So it was no. Now tonight they'll read the minutes, and then somebody will probably take it out. But there are people from the town of Grand Rapids going to be there, and a list of people did call those people. And I have a item.
So you're saying our minutes are wrong, or you just
No, I'm just saying
comment
that
about them?
this was the result of the minutes, that you say you can't respond to anything. I was wondering if you responded at all to John Miller's request notifying the people of the town of Grand Rapids about that incident.
If I don't see a notice, I can't.
Well, okay. So no, nothing was done about it. And then I have, oh boy, you can't wet your lips with a mask on. Okay, under number 8, it says Chairman Nyson stated that he would like to hold an informational meeting with the proposed firms to explain the project before they submit bids.
Wait, what number are you on?
Number 8, number 10 rather, I'm sorry. Number 10. If you're going to have a meeting or call a meeting of.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I was waiting for some input from the county highway commissioner, who offered to give me some assistance on it as to how to word it and whatever. So we have 5 years to do this project, so the timeline may be pushed back or scheduled, but yeah, I have not taken further action yet.
Okay, and then I have a question on number 11, on the 49th Street. I viewed that. I viewed that with a state person also, that with highways and things like that, about that culvert on 49th Street, even doing the whole road. And if you go all the way from 80th Street to 48th Street, there's 2 culverts. 2 culverts. And one of them is blocked on that side of the road. And I don't see any need for a culvert at all on 49th Street. And I wish we'd have somebody look at it, because my understanding was when that motion was made, it was a recommendation from our public works person that he got a quote for $40,000 to do that in the road.
He did not get the quote. I got the quote.
Okay. And you had the county do it, right?
County, yes, county is and they'll do it.
I just think personally, it's a waste of money. I think it should be reviewed again. I really do, and I think we should get another quote on that.
You should have asked it to be put on another agenda again, but you,
I'm reading the minutes, and
yes, but you're commenting on the minutes as to what we need to know, are the minutes correct? That's what the agenda, we're moving to approve, are the minutes correct? If the minutes are not correct, then we need to correct them, but
Mr. Chairman, I'm not giving you a lecture on how minutes should be. It's any consideration or comments about the previous meeting minutes, and that's what I'm giving you. What I thought of and what I had. Yes, minutes should be corrected. I'm just saying that these things were in the minutes, and I'm wondering what they were going to do about it. So, I'm still going to approve the minutes. I mean,
any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed. All right, our monthly reports from departments, you have those packets. I'm sorry, public comment period, I missed over that. Anybody in the audience wish to speak to the board this evening, limited to 2 minutes each. Public comment period to total no more than 30 minutes. Anybody in the audience wish to speak on any items? Hearing none, we'll move to monthly reports, and as I started to state, those reports are in front of you in your packets. If there's any questions or concerns on any of those items, please contact the writer of each of those reports.
can we make a comment about one of them? I think this is a very good about the employee safety meeting.
Yes, you may.
And I think for purposes, I think there should be writing about who these people are, as long as they're part of the minutes and the report. You know, just who's there in this training session.
It's in the end of the
He included his sign-in sheet at the end.
there's a sign-in
Well,
sheet in the back of it.
I did see that, but that don't tell me who's in the pictures. Okay, thank you. That's my comment.
I understand. All right,
Oh, I had one question,
Mhm.
in regards to, I was gonna ask Mel about, the garage. What, our town garage is closed due to
Not anymore.
evidence. Oh, it's open now.
yeah, the item that was, for the reason it had to be closed, I am not aware of, but it was closed, and I was told that item was removed today.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Check.
Okay. All right, well, moving on to item 6, consider a possible action on resolution 2020-21, consider preliminary resolution for discontinuing undeveloped portion of Ridgewood Trail, Town of Grand Rapids, Wood County, Wisconsin. And Nick, I've asked you to just refresh everybody. This has been a few months since we talked about this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So just a couple comments. So before you this evening is a preliminary resolution relating to discontinuing a undeveloped portion of Ridgewood Trail. And just to give just a recollection to what happened earlier this year, you may recall back in April, I believe it was, that you approved a certified survey map for Bullseye Golf Club. In that CSM, it created a number of lots. It also created an outlot. And important to this agenda item, it dedicated a portion of public way for future road purposes, and those future purposes were the extension of Ridgewood Trail. So if you can recall the map, it kind of looked like an extension where Ridgewood Trail ends, and it kind of ended with a cul-de-sac right where that Outlot 1 was located. So since that April meeting, Bullseye has informed us that they received an offer and sold all of the lots to one individual. And the desire is to restrict that entire area from development into perpetuity. And so part of that purchase agreement will allow the keeping of the current driveway and utilities within the current area into perpetuity as well. Since that time, they've redone a survey, and so they've done a CSM. That didn't go before the town board, it did go before the plan commission. Didn't go before the town board because there were no additional dedications of public way. And so what they did when they redid that survey was they just created 2 lots, or 2 outlots actually. Outlot 1 is all of that property, that they had divided previously. Outlot 2 is that public way, the Ridgewood Trail that we're talking about here today. And so they have asked the town to consider discontinuing what is noted on the CSM now as Outlot 2. So in other words, discontinuing that extension of Ridgewood Trail. And if you recall, there's two ways that starts. Either it's a petition from the property owners, all of the owners that abut the public way, and then I believe it's 1/3 of the owners within 2,650 feet, or the town can commence the action itself through adoption of a preliminary resolution. Preliminary resolution just says we're going to start this process, we're going to set a public hearing, and we're going to consider a final resolution. It doesn't say that we're discontinuing the road. You may recall that we, a number of years ago, put in place a policy dealing with these kind of requests, and that policy makes clear who's responsible for costs under certain conditions. One of those conditions is what we have here today. A property owner's asking the town to commence the action. In those cases, our policy says that we be reimbursed, or they need to agree that we be reimbursed for, and I'll just read them off, the cost to prepare the preliminary resolution and final resolution, cost of the publications, cost of notices sent to the budding property owners, cost of recording items with the register of deeds, cost of any conveyance documents, and then if there were special meetings requested, costs of those as well. I will just say that Bullseye has agreed to reimburse the town for the costs. So again, that's a lot of information, but the item that is before you this evening is kicking off the process of considering discontinuing of that Ridgewood Trail. And so if you did approve it, we'd set it for October public hearing, because it needs to be at least 40 days. And then on that date, it'd be the public hearing and a consideration of a final resolution.
Thank you, Nick. Is there any questions of Nick? If not, a motion will be in order to come forward.
I can go ahead and make that motion to consider the preliminary resolution for discontinuing an undeveloped portion of Ridgewood Trail, Town of Grand Rapids, Wood County, Wisconsin.
I'll second that.
A motion by Patty, seconded by Nan. Any discussion? William?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, so I just want to understand this. This resolution, as you said, does not mean we're going to change it. It means we're going to set up and get the action started, and we're going to set up for a public hearing, and at a public hearing, we could hear testimony there, and then act on a resolution for or against.
That is absolutely correct.
Thank you.
Yep. This sets in place recording requirements for the register of deeds, publication requirements, a public hearing date be set, and considering a final resolution.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor of resolution 2020-21, all say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Thank you. We will see that move forward. Item 7, consider possible action on ordinance 2020, or is that resolution or ordinance? Ordinance. It is ordinance. 2020-22, proposed comprehensive plan use classification under agriculture, from agriculture to B1 commercial, described as approximately 4.0 acres of the parcel of land identified as parcel 0700033A, located at the corner of Highway 54 East and 52nd Street North, Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin 54494.
Just on the one we just did, it has the wrong date on
It
it.
has the original town board date up in the whereas first part.
Correction will be
So
made.
I just need to correct that to the 18th.
All right, Nick, do you want to take that one again and just refresh us, please?
So I would call this more of a housekeeping item, because you may recall at last month's meeting, you actually held a public hearing and approved this request. So this was related to Kingdom Storage. You may recall that there were actually some split zoning there, and what happened along with rezoning was an update of the town's comprehensive plan future land use map. That's what this is. You approved it last month, but when you approve it, you actually have to adopt an ordinance, and it was just inadvertently left out. And so all you're doing is adopting the ordinance. What will happen is, if you approve the ordinance, therefore, just reaffirming what you did last month, it will be sent to the county, and this will trigger us updating. We have Ordinance 58, where we keep track of all of our changes to our future land use map. And so we'll plug it into Ordinance 58 if you approve the ordinance tonight.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2020-22.
And second.
Motion by Dan, second by Patty. Discussion?
Yes, I have one discussion on it. And
William, go ahead.
so this, thank you. So this was done for housekeeping purposes. So, like, we had somebody on Saratoga Street annex, we had the airport annex. Is that a housekeeping thing to change our comprehensive plan also, losing land?
So whenever we have a rezone, we should be always looking at our comp plan and saying, does our future land use map reflect, or is it consistent with what the rezone is? In this case, it wasn't. It was agricultural, and they had requested rezoning to commercial. In the past, we've also looked at it, you may recall for Bullseye, when they did a rezone, and it was outdoor recreational, I believe, and we rezoned it to residential. So these kind of things happen when there's a rezone request. We look at our future land use map, we say, is this area, is it consistent with our future land use map and our comp plan? And if not, we need to do an amendment in order to be consistent with our comp plan. So usually those come together, just like it did last month, just like it also did, I believe, back in April with Bullseye.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of ordinance 2020-22, say aye.
Aye.
And aye, any opposed? I don't believe I heard anything, is that right? Item 8, consider a possible action on items to be placed on the surplus auction site. We have two items. One is obviously the 2014 Dodge Charger with 135,000 miles on it. And from the fire department, they have a Kawasaki positive pressure fan system. From your last meeting, you noticed they bought a battery operated power pressure fan, so they no longer need these gas-fired ones, which are inherently difficult to get started.
And what are they, they're gas-powered, what did you say?
Power pressure fans, in other words, they suck air out of the house if there's smoke in it.
Oh,
So
okay.
the idea is to clear the house of smoke as quick as you can, and the excess of the battery operated ones make it much more efficient, because you push the button and they start.
Later, they're just, it's just new technology.
So we don't have anything for the fire truck at this time. It's too early to put that on the site. I have been watching some, and some of them are going for reasonable dollars, and some are not much, but I don't know the condition of the not much ones, because I didn't see any inspections of them. But I asked Rick if he had anything from the maintenance facility, and he says, no, we don't have any tires or anything like that right now. So this is all we have for the moment.
So the Charger and the,
Charger and the positive pressure fan. So is there a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Amber. Any discussion?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dan.
So for the Charger, I think the last one, that Charger that we didn't we set it out here and accept bids for it? We didn't put it on this
no,
auction?
that was quite a few, that was even before I started.
That was several
Yeah.
ago. This last ones we did was through
So
this,
do we?
this site,
Yeah,
and then they'll call when they want to inspect it, and Rick will meet them at the garage.
okay. And do we have to accept the
No,
highest bid on this?
you can turn around, and I think that we've done in one case where we had some back air regulators with tanks that we turned it down because it was too low.
Yep,
So
okay.
if this doesn't bring us $8,000-9,000, we can try to go elsewhere.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
So, if you take it off, do you still have to pay a fee?
If you take it off the auction site?
Yes.
I don't believe
I
so.
don't believe we did.
Okay, thanks.
I wasn't aware of any. Any, let's see, did you make a motion or did I hear a
We've got
motion?
Yeah, there's the motion.
And seconded. Any other discussion? Here none, all in favor say aye.
All right,
I'm an aye, anybody opposed? No opposed. Nine, consider possible action on election inspector pay for the remainder of 2020. Lisa, you wanna,
Sure. So normally the election inspector would pay $10 an hour. In April at our meeting, well, it was probably March, the board made a motion and approved it to pay them $12 an hour for the April election due to finding a hard time getting workers and the fact that they were risking coming to work with COVID. So I would like the same thing. I guess I didn't think of it until after our last meeting, but for payroll for this election from last week, I would like to pay them the $12 an hour, and then for November election also. So if you're willing to just approve for the rest of 2020 to pay the $12 an hour, I would highly
I would like to
appreciate
make a
it.
motion to that effect, to pay $15 an hour like I did at the last one, so we get people there at the polls to help work with it. I'm gonna go for $15 an hour, and that will remain into effect until the town board changes it.
is there a second? Is there a second? Motion dies due to lack of second.
I'll make a motion that we increase it to the $12, which we had at the previous election.
I'll second.
Motion by Dan, second by Patty. Any discussion? Here none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, anybody opposed?
No,
One opposed.
Is that for the
All
remainder
remainder.
of 2020?
All elections going
Oh,
forward.
okay.
oh, well. That's not what I heard in the motion.
Well, that's what it was, that's what I said. You must not have heard it.
I think that a
We'll check
motion
the-
should
we'll check-
be
we'll
amended
check
to
the
say
tape.
that.
We'll check the tape.
It didn't,
Wrong.
that's why I confirmed. You just said to change it to
Yeah.
12, so that's why I was confirming.
$12 an hour, moving forward.
Okay.
You want to revote? With the
See, I
correction to the
understood it
motion?
to be $12 an hour for the remainder of 2020.
No,
so-
$12 an hour. The motion was $12 an hour, for the election workers,
Okay. Unless the board would change it.
until the board changes it.
Oh, okay.
That's the motion. And I wanted to make
And
amendments.
Patty, will you second that then?
Yes, I
Okay.
will second.
The motion has been corrected to state, and again, $12 an hour until the board changes it again? The
Yes.
Motion, okay. And you have that correct then, Lisa?
Yes. Mhm.
Any other discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, anybody opposed? Not opposed. No opposed?
No opposed?
No opposed?
I'm for it.
Okay. Item, let's see. Item 10, I moved right past this, flipped it over already. At the July 17th WTA meeting in Richfield, Jim Tremelling has stepped on, and William, being the vice chairman, William Glendenning, is now the new chairman. They announced that they wanted the groups to discuss whether we wanted to continue a monthly meetings or go for quarterly meetings for the time being, or whatever. Am I correctly stating that, William?
That's correct.
Okay, so what's your feeling on it? Should we try to meet once, which would be October,
October is our next one.
Mm-hmm.
and then not meet until January, or
That would be a quarterly meeting? then?
quarterly for the
I-
time being?
I would recommend, my personal recommend is that we move to a quarterly meeting
Okay,
this time.
would there be a second to that?
I can second.
Patty? All right, so the motion is that we recommend, and obviously this is kind of gonna be voted on overall, but our vote from Grand Rapids will reflect what you vote for. to hold quarterly meetings. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have an aye, anybody opposed?
Discussion.
Didn't I have discussion?
No,
Okay, excuse me, back up, discussion.
Sorry about that, but I am kind of opposed to this. I don't think the state organization should be telling us when we have meetings, or even requesting when we have meetings. If they said we have four, for instance, if you have 4 meetings a year, which would be quarterly, we will pay for 2 of them to be on scoop or whatever you call it. You know, whatever you call it. They will pay for that and set it up. It's so, they're not really saying to have 4 meetings. They'd like to say, what is Wood County gonna have? And we are the most active and have been the most active. For over 30 years, we've been the most active. We've had them every month except the month of November. And people come to it if they can, and they don't, and that's fine. And I just don't think the state should be telling us when we should have them. If they want to pay for 2 of our meetings a year, that's fine. You know,
The idea on the Skype meetings that it's not expensive
Skype.
to have. So I mean, even if the organization themselves decided to do our own Skype meetings, we could do that, and they're not that expensive to get the license to hold them on multiple occasions. But as we went back to discussion, so we'll then go to the vote again.
I just have one
Go ahead.
question. What is the feeling? I'm unfortunately unable to attend these meetings, but what is the overall feeling when you, at the meeting, last meeting, what was the discussion?
I think, and Bill could correct me if I'm wrong, the overall discussion was for the time being
yeah,
to do it quarterly.
yeah.
Not to
Yes.
say that they wanted to always do
Okay,
it quarterly,
That's, okay.
but they felt because so many of the municipalities have small meeting places that it's difficult to find places where they can get away and we can
Social distance.
social distance and have the facilities available like Richfield does, which is a larger facility. So I think that's pretty much what.
Okay.
So then, this would only be for a short term, or the term for this quarterly meeting would be voted on at the next WTA?
At the October meeting, it'll be
Okay.
voted on, and then the board, the group that is there and representative, each municipality has 1 vote, and then they'll decide which way it goes.
Okay, gotcha.
If I may just say, yeah, I think they're so informative. You get to meet legislators, you get to meet county board people that, you know, highway department, health department, even extension. Every month they give you an update on those things. If you'll notice, since Peter Manley went out of office, we don't get the extension report about things that are happening in the whole state as far as with townships and things like that.
I thought it was quite informative when I had attended some of the meetings, but like I said, most times I'm unable to.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. All right, I plan trying to be there, William. All right, item 12 is the discussion on the.
Number
11?
11 first.
Ooh, here we go. I'm checking too much here. Discussion on board members attending the 2020 annual WTA convention and fall workshops, and whether attending in person or online. Lisa provided the information to you. Is there any discussion on it that you want to have? If not, whatever you're looking to do, you need to fill out a form and get it to her. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look over that, but boy, you'd have to fit that into some of your schedules, and how can you just say yes and have the town pay $90?
It's kind of the boat I'm in too, William.
Yeah, but one of the things I thought was nice is that, you can shut that tape off, no, is the fact that if we had a, you know, because you can tune into these things. If we as a town board just took one day and heard something, you know what I mean, and recorded it, maybe a 2 or 3 hour meeting, and that's the way we would listen to it, and we would have the material.
I don't think that we could technically do that. I appreciate you looking at the town's wages, but the way they're asking for us is if you watch it, you need to pay for it.
Okay.
I believe there is
Right.
some stuff that it's possible that the clerk may be involved in. They have election conversations, that's it, more in the fall conferences, I think. So there are there's some budget things that may very well fit into what their wishes are to attend, but there isn't as much meat and potatoes in this convention one as there has been in the past.
So is this given to staff also,
Yes.
you know, the clerks and
Yes.
administrative people?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
This is not.
These are two different.
These are live teleconferences, you can't go back and watch them.
Yes, you can. It says look further on down,
Oh, did
they
it?
are pre-recorded.
Okay, they are pre-recorded, so you can,
So if you were signed up to have these, you'd have an email access
Oh,
to look at them.
So you could watch them not.
anytime.
Yeah,
All right.
but again, we would still whoever
Yeah.
signed up would pay the $94.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
You
so-
have to have these in tonight. Can you give us
Nope,
some?
yeah, no, you can.
No, there's a little time on them. I think I read the
October 1st.
October 1st, I
October
believe.
1st, so,
I mean, it's don't wait till the 30th.
right. The last time we'll cut checks before this would be the 25th of September, but probably the 10th it should be paid on, because otherwise it's pushing it, but mid-September at the
All right,
latest.
thank you.
Okay. No need for any formal action. Okay, then we'll move to item 12, intergovernmental agreement for airport managers services. This is between the Airport Commission and the City of Wisconsin Rapids, who was currently doing our governmental control skills, our payroll, our accounting, our insurances and that like, and this typically is a new agreement which will likely be set for 5 years. And the key things are what's to be expected of each. There will be 2 addendums to that further dictates the cost and yeah. I believe there was 2 addendums, but I think maybe it's only 1. But this is meats and potatoes. This just says how that the city and the airport commission would work. Is there some discussion on it?
Yes, I'd like to discuss them now. For one thing, I really think in this intergovernmental agreement, and Nick, you was in the first intergovernmental agreement, correct?
No,
On this one, we hired Jeremy.
I was
Okay.
I was just leaving the city of Wisconsin Rapids when there was discussion about an intergovernmental agreement for airport management services. I've never been a
We
part
already
of.
had those in place, and this was a renewal of it.
Yeah,
And we've been 2 years without a formal agreement.
but I never took part in drafting.
So anyway, my thought of it is, man, I thought the airport attorney ought to sit down with its commission without the influence of the city and the city's, legal counsel and anybody else that got involved in it, and said to the city what they wanted. And then the city would come back and tell them what it cost. Instead, the city initiated this. You know what I mean? Which I think is wrong. And I think this should be reviewed by our legal counsel, and it don't take effect till the first of the year.
He is reviewing it. He has it in his hands.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was gonna be reviewed by legal.
Not me.
Not Grand Rapids.
Yeah, not
the
me.
Oh, the airport
Airport's
one?
commission attorney. Nick
Yeah,
has,
I'm not the commission's attorney.
he's not the
No, I
commission
know you're
attorney.
not, but I thought our attorney should do it. I think each municipality's attorney should do it and say, yeah, this is a good idea.
That's not the feeling that we had from the rest of the board members that are on the commission.
Okay.
we felt that our attorney looked at it and, well, I won't speak for them, so. And is there any points on here that concerns you? Is there,
Well, if I may,
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman, when I looked at this, my first thing was, what is the cost? But you're talking about an addendum coming.
yeah, that
But
addendum will,
it's like signing a blank check, isn't it?
no, it's,
Okay.
this really does not have to be approved by this board either. It's actually agreement between the commission and the city of Wisconsin Rapids is providing the services. However, out of a courtesy and a request from William, I said that, yes, I would bring this item on paper for board members to review so that you have it. Obviously, if you're getting the emails, you from the airport commission on their agendas, you would have saw it anyway. But I give you an opportunity just to sit and look at it. The actual wording and the fees and that is all commission to the city.
Okay, and then I had one other thought about this, and I don't know if, I suppose there's nothing a person could check into at this time, but the name of the airport is Southwood County. And, you know, when it comes to insurance costs and things like that, why couldn't Wood County be the one that would supply that, you know, like these things? This person become a employee of Wood County versus Wisconsin Rapids, because it would be less, what's the word I want to use? Not, like a nonpartisan and not having an interest, you know, I can't think of the word.
I think I follow what you're saying.
Conflict of
It's,
interest.
Yes, thank you. So, you know, that was another thought. I thought about, why is the city taking charge of it versus, you know, another thing? And, you know, the
well,
pool is bigger of
there's
employees.
several things. They are the contractor that employs the airport manager. They have the payroll, they have the insurance, they have the healthcare, they have everything as an employee. The commission just contracts with them for X number of dollars a year in the contract to maintain that employee for us and the part-time employees. The accounting from all the credit card transactions go through the city's banking system, and all gets through there. All the state aid goes that way. It's quite complex for the amount of time that the city has involved. That's why we have our own attorney to approve of any documents that we're doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I say something? So let's see, comment. So in here now, you're going to know, because of this contract, you're going to know what your water bill is gonna be. The airport commission has to pay the city for the garbage and recycling pickup. That's all in here, so it's all comprehensive, what the city is going to charge you. And I know for many times, when we had the city come and cut down some trees and violate, in my opinion, the rules of just putting it in the water, which they should not have done in the first place, and then turned around and charged us for it. I have known this town to go there and not charge the airport commission or anything, but the city of Wisconsin Rapids gets every penny they can out of it. And are they gonna charge us now for the water and sewer?
I think that was known to us back in January, wasn't it, Bill, when we received the letter from Joe Terry that indicated that they had not been charging us for sewer or water service since who knows how long, due to some error on somebody's part. But once they did an accounting process and an audit process, they found out they were never charging the commission. Commission should have been paying for services since day one, since the terminal was built.
I disagree with that, because it was a gentleman's agreement not to do that because they were part of the airport. But is that in this agreement? That we will pay
We'll pay we'll be billed just like any other,
the blank check as Patty
I don't know what you mean by a blank check. The check will have to be filled out. All right, any other discussion on it? If not, we'll move on to item 13 now. I can't let my finger here. All right, any questions on the vouchers? Where are you going? Hopefully we got an answer for you.
Page 12. The part-time officer's expenses are at 100.
Oh, that's not the vouchers,
I
Patty.
know, but we didn't have a chance to.
Okay, but you can bring that up when it's your time to talk. We can cut.
I thought
We can cover that when you,
we did it last time because you skipped over the reports up in here and then.
yeah, we can, when it gets to the time, we'll talk about it. I mean,
Well, you're not on the voucher sheet.
no,
No,
she,
but I was gonna, I had questions.
she was
But
on,
no-
she was on the budget more than the voucher, so.
Right, I don't have any questions on the vouchers.
Anybody else? Hearing none. Lisa, please pass them down. Fourteen operator license applications. We have Ashley Anderson for the store, Raquel Hess for the store, Sophie Mertz for Bud's Corner Mart for 1 year, and they have been approved by the,
Operator's license as read.
I'll second.
motion by Dan, seconded by Patty. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Vouchers are approved. Application for, yeah. Operator licenses, I'm getting lightheaded. Item 15, Public Works. I didn't get anything from Rick. I did visit with him just the other day, and he said they're primarily just finished up with all the crack filling. I had him do the radial cracks on Lake Avenue again, that we're going longitudinally wise, and that's looking better. And then they were in some of the other subdivisions over here on Grove Avenue where there were some deep separations. They did that. Other than that, we're still waiting for the county to give us timelines when they're going to do any work for us. Any questions?
Isn't it start getting late in the year for that or not?
No, we can do them all the way through October, November. I would have preferred, but we didn't get right on this either this year. Plan Commission, Patty?
We had, we met on August 10th, and we had one dog for a 3-dog permit. We had 3 metal carports approved, 1 detached garage that exceeded the maximum building height of 18 feet. We had a certified survey map combining two lots to make into one. They're planning on building a garage on it. And then we worked on the comprehensive plan, and we went through the draft for the transportation element. So that was pretty much it. Oh, the survey is now online. The survey results are now online, so anyone can review the survey results for the comprehensive plan.
Okay, any questions? Public safety? Amber, we didn't have a meeting, did we? Okay. The WTA meeting, that was preceding month, wasn't it?
Yes, but we had Donna Rosar was there from the health department, from the county. Yeah, I think we give you a report on that.
Yeah, we did.
Last time.
Okay, Airport Commission. What I can tell you from the July report is fuel sales have started to increase. Our jet was only at 63% of average. We are now up to 68% of average. More traffic coming in. Overall, the traffic count on jets is probably 50%. For what we understand, the golf course is running a lot tighter, but they have a lot of more separation between tee-off times. So what may be full to somebody is probably only whatever percent. Right now, the hangar is in use. It's been completed. We did have a successful business after hours events there just a few days ago, July 26th to be exact. There's 50 to 75 people there who took a look at everything and gave us our, like, we still plan on doing a public ribbon cutting ceremony, and that may be in the first week of September. It's not confirmed yet, though.
I have a bit of a discussion.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Guess who won the airplane ride, free airplane ride? Whose name was drawn out first, but then he turned it back in? Arnie Nystrom.
Seriously?
Yeah, because all those guys out there tell me, anytime you want to go for a ride, I'll take you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Lee from downtown. He's a very nice guy, well-known donor, donates a lot to a lot of
Oh, yeah.
charities. So that was good to see that.
Who won it was Crucial then, Crucial. He cleans garages and basements and stuff. He was there, and he's the one that they finally drew out, and he won it.
Okay. Public buildings, nothing? Did Lisa talk to you? Did you get the chance to talk to her about that AC thing you were talking about?
I have not, no.
Okay, stand by. Economic Development, Amber, we had a meeting, eh?
Yep, so we met on August 12th. We primarily discussed connecting the trail from the city to Wazeecha. We had a lot of discussion around that. And next steps from there, I connected with Justin Connor, and he did send me some stuff, so I do have that. And then just looking at those plans and seeing where we can go from there. So our next meeting will really just look at what there already has been done, and look at some maps and see what would be feasible.
May I add something on that? Just to let you know, I attended a Economic Development Committee meeting from the seat committee on the county board. And this time they have $270,000 that the county is trying to put in their budget to give out, like they give $10,000 to the airports, and they give so much money to other things. But they're gonna send out, September 1st, they're gonna send out grant applications. So all the municipalities, towns, villages, and cities, and it has to be in by the 11th of September. I thought that was kind of fun. But it's what they're gonna do is try to get money, that towns want some money, grant money for something, so I think it's a good thing to get a hold of Jason Connors from Planning and Zoning, and maybe get a head start on that.
No, it's not Connors.
Jason Gutenberg.
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg. He's a town of Grand Rapids resident, so.
And Amber, I'd like to see probably maybe meeting in another 2 to 3 weeks at the most.
Yeah, I was
I
hoping.
just should not go a full month again. I'd like to keep this
Yep,
rolling.
so I was hoping maybe September 16th, it's a Wednesday.
Was there also on the agenda discussion regarding housing?
They had a comment on there about subdivisions. Yeah, I don't think that went anywhere.
Okay, I just was curious about
Mhm.
that.
All right, legislative, we will be meeting, is that the 28th,
No,
25th?
yeah, next Tuesday.
And that's here?
Yeah,
Correct.
that's the fire department.
Okay. Okay. Personnel? Okay. Election, Lisa, do you want to give us a?
Recycling.
Oh, I forgot you again, huh?
Okay, recycling and solid waste. Tentatively got a meeting set for September 1st to discuss 3 issues such as composting, the water issue is, I have about 18 people that have sent me things. Maybe some of you got some in a basket. I see Keith was in here and put some things in my basket. I don't know if he put them in other people's. And there's 3 things we want to talk about at it. And it's tentatively right now for September 1st. But there's so many complaints about recycling pickup on the weekends. We had 3 of them
On the weekend.
this week. No, during the week
Oh.
for picking up the recyclables. Because people are cleaning because they're home now and they're setting out. And if a person set out 3 containers and they were told by the new driver, temporary new driver, that, oh no, you can only pull out 2. Well, it's 4 you can pull out. You can put out 4 containers. That's what's in a
Or for
provision.
recycle?
No, 2
Or for
per each.
garbage.
Yeah, yeah,
For total.
4
30-gallon containers.
yeah,
For
4.
total.
Yeah,
Total,
it could
be it
be-
recycled
yeah,
or
yeah.
all trash.
And other people, they're not picking up, people are cleaning up and they'll put a rug in, a rug that they're throwing away and they won't pick it up. I just think it's too bad, but I'm glad the people are calling the office and the office is then calling me because I go check up on these things.
And you're aware of the new contractor that's gonna be taken over for Advance, correct? Have you heard about that yet? Or Nick? Yeah, they've sold,
Advance?
and Lisa had just gotten a application for a waste hauler's permit.
Right, it wasn't finalized yet, but they had me send them the waste hauler permit application. I don't know that anything is
Final
final.
yet? But it appears we're gonna have a new,
My understanding, Waste Management will be taking over a portion of Advanced, so.
and
And actually, one of the drivers stopped in this morning and confirmed it with the girls, so it must be final, so.
so it appears that Waste Management couldn't take the whole
They couldn't
company,
take
so
the
they had to
whole-
break off. And what was the name of the company? You told me once.
So Waste Management sold it to Advanced Disposal.
No,
And now
Advanced
Advanced Disposal is.
Yep, exactly right.
But Waste Management would have a monopoly, so they can't buy all of it, so there's,
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure exactly, but there will be a different name though, they hadn't finalized that though, she said that was.
They're all foreign countries.
So,
And then also Dan and I are meeting tomorrow for our ad hoc.
okay. And Lisa, let's have you got the election report for everybody?
Oh, I do. So for the election for August 11th, the registrants we had 20 days prior to the election was 5,024. We had 8 registrants in the 20 days before the election. We had 34 on the day of the election, so we have a total of 5,066 now. For that day, we had a total of 1,782 voters, which was a 35% turnout. Compared to the last August partisan in a presidential year, we had 831, which was a 16% turnout. For absentee ballots, we had 1,468 issued by mail, 79 in-person early voting for a total of 1,547. And as far as return back, we had a total of 1,149 return back. 4 years ago, that compares to 65. So a little bit of a difference. Total of 23 workers. The wages, I don't have yet since I didn't do payroll for them yet. Meals were $226, and that was for the 2 days, Monday and Tuesdays.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody seemed to be happy with the flow and that I heard of 0 complaints.
Yeah, I wasn't busy because so many were done absentee ahead of time, so.
Okay, individual board members, Dan.
Nothing at this time.
Okay. And Patty, I kind of overheard what you were talking about, wanting to talk about with Mel, the part-time officers' wages.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah, it's probably best for you to meet specifically with him, because I did have that conversation with him,
Okay,
and it's probably best for you to get an answer directly from him, because I don't want to try to indicate to you what I think he
okay.
would sort
And
of.
then.
I'd also like a copy of that too. I mean, I had it circled on mine.
Yeah, and then also, equipment expense, we're at 132% of that too. on
Which
17.
department?
It would be road maintenance than equipment expense, so it'd
What
be
page?
part of the contracts. Page 17.
Heidi?
Oh,
Oh, for PWs? Yes, they had, what was the biggest, they had one big unexpected thing.
yeah, they had
recently.
two rotting, control modules on one truck. I
Oh.
believe that's,
And then tires.
and then tires on the, big tractor that, does the ditch mowing. Deteriorated quicker than they anticipated. So, he's over, but it's, 32% over, but that line item was only a 15,000 line item, I believe, isn't that what it was?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so-
we're about $4,000
He's gonna try to make, he's
over.
gonna try to make it up on other stuff.
That was
Anything
my,
else?
only two questions I had. I just
Okay.
was concerned, being that we should only be at 50% per
Yeah.
se, or a little bit more, but those were extreme, so I was
Liam?
worried.
Oh, okay, yes, I have a few things. For one thing, I think, when the committee met, the economic committee met, I made a suggestion there, and this was about our monthly, quarterly newsletter, that the Towns Association and the Counties Association used to spend a lot of money on putting out a monthly magazine, and then a suggestion was made that they get people to advertise in it. And I talked to two people that have businesses here in the town of Grand Rapids, and they would be glad to have their business and help pay for the newsletter by paying for the advertisement. And people who are looking at that quarterly newsletter that's sent out for us could just look in there, and they'd be proud to have their name in those, so people could look at it. So I wish the Economic Development Committee would look at that. And then I did think there would be something on it, on the agenda about speed limit on 48th Street. Does the town act on that?
It's coming
Legislative.
in the legislative meeting.
So they want.
I want to talk to you afterwards, just briefly about it. Give you a couple updates on what I've been taking.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, it was brought up about the evidence locker, and I wish the safety committee would meet on this. I don't think that garage belongs to the city, to the police department. I think the police department should put in their budget either some kind of a storage unit to be put here, or a building, and it should be part of their budget. If their budget is $700,000 this year and it goes up, that should be in their budget and not in the town's budget to supply them. I know it's one pocket in the other, but it's what the police department is costing us. And it's, come here and see that that's locked up. I just think that's disgusting. And I thought it was disgusting when I was on the buildings committee and we spent $2,000 to put locks on that building. So only one person could open it when it was locked up. So I would hope that the safety department would meet with the proper people and say, if you're gonna use that place, you know what I mean, it's gonna cost you money.
I think always in the past, in the county provides a larger storage spaces for all police departments.
Yeah, yes, they did, and if you wanna get into that, yes, and the county offered the town of Grand Rapids that, and they refused it, because they have a place for that stuff. And if you go out on 17th Avenue.
For which vehicle?
What happened?
For which vehicle?
For which vehicle out on 17th Avenue? I don't know when it was, but I've asked that question for many years.
I know Mel tried to get those vehicles that were in there out of there, and they didn't have room for them. The ones that stood there for the longest time.
Right, and them could have sat out there because I asked about
No,
them.
they wouldn't take them.
Well, that's not what I heard, because it would have went out on 17th Avenue.
Right. They
But,
didn't.
okay, I just say,
So wait a minute, Bill, you said that the town of Grand Rapids refused
yes,
you, okay.
we refused This is a few years back when it first happened and we put it in there. And at the time, the sheriff, Reichert, and I discussed that. He said we would be glad to do that, but the town of Grand Rapids refused and said that they had a place to do their own evidence locker.
But you're talking something way back, Bill. I'm talking just recently, the last 2 years.
No, nothing in the last
Then
2
you
years.
just explain yourself clear, because I'm contradicting you when I'm incorrectly contradicting you, because this is.
The town of Grand Rapids has refused it in past years.
Well, maybe not.
And that's what opened the door to them having, and I did say that, to them having this place with special locks on it. That's when I said, how come this stuff can't be there? And that's how many years ago it was.
Mr. Chair.
I'm gonna go now, I'll come back. Go ahead, Amber,
I
anything
don't,
enlightening for us?
no, I don't have anything.
Lisa, you got anything else?
No.
I have nothing. What else did you have, Dan?
So my understanding was with this administration here, as far as storage, lockup, and keeping that garage tied up with evidence, that they have went to the county several times, okay? And the county did not have room for the vehicles or the items that were stored in there. And that's why they were there. That's what I was told by our current administration on this current thing. Now it's open now, if they're gone now, but just in this past couple years. That was, they wanted to bring them to the county, but the county did not have room in their facility. So they have been trying to get stuff out of there as quick as possible, but depending on what's going on or whatever is the amount of room. And I agree with you, Bill. I think we gotta find something, another source to store this stuff, but, last year we put into the budget a building and it was shot down day one,
I vote for it.
so.
I didn't.
I know you do.
Anything else? Items for future? Hearing none, motion adjourned by
Patty?
Patty, seconded by Dan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, anybody opposed? Nobody is gonna oppose that. Thank you very much.